affiliate marketing, and UGC. But it is officially fall.
Just an update on his hair.
God is always going to make a way. Welcome back to another day of Vlogtober. Today is Tuesday, September the 30th. So I know y'all get it, it's Vlogtober. But it is 6:04 in the morning. I just dropped Dylan off at school maybe about 10 minutes ago. But I have to go back and get him after practice because he has a doctor's appointment this morning. So I need to be back at the school for 6:50. So I need to get myself together. And then I have some content that I want to film this morning, short form content, before I go back and pick him up. Will I be able to do all of that, get dressed, so forth and so on? We gonna see. Y'all, look at this. See what happens when you have kids that use your stuff? Like the pump won't pump anymore. So I had just been taking it out of the thing and using it like this. Well, y'all's little internet niece got in here and poured my face wash, a brand new bottle, might I add, all over the sink. Next time I buy more, I'm just gonna buy 2 bottles. One for Kennedy and Dylan and one for myself. Because normally Dylan's football is on Wednesdays. I actually said the other day that I haven't been going to Bible study because his football games are on Wednesdays. He came home yesterday and he said, oh yeah, by the way, my football game is tomorrow. So his football game is today. I'll be doing that after work. And then tomorrow I can actually go to Bible study. Here is a fun fact about me that nobody asked for. I actually like going to Bible study more than Sunday church service. I actually love the idea of sitting down, breaking down the Bible, teaching the word of God. Not to say that doesn't happen at church, because it does, like at church service. But you know, at church service, you have like the production of things, if that makes sense. That's not to say that I don't go to church. But anywhere I'm getting the word of God is good for me. All right, it is 6:07. Let me go put on some makeup, film this video, and I'll show y'all a little behind the scenes, if you will. Okay, so first things first, I try to film like sit down videos at my vanity. But right now my vanity is a mess. I mean, I'm still gonna film it, but it's literally a bunch of stuff that does not belong to me. Let me just say that while I'm here. So you can see I just use my ring light. I hardly ever use the lighting for my vanity. I don't know why. To me, it just doesn't make that big of a difference. Every now and then I'll put like the frame TV art in the background. It just depends on what we're doing and where we're going. Because I'm about to film content for a brand, I put let's back up. Most of the time I try to film short form content now on my DJI, just because to me the quality is a little bit crispier, okay? However, today I'm not doing that. I'm gonna go back to the old school way. I'm gonna film it from my phone. So with that being said, because I'm filming it from my phone, I always like to have my deliverables handy. So I am going to use my iPad just to have the information from the deliverables here. Of course, if I was doing filming from my DJI, then I would just use my phone, like get the deliverables from the contract on my phone or whatever. And then my filming setup. This thing is not charged, but it still works. So this is the little thing that you see on, I think I got this from TikTok shop. Oh, I don't have on a bra. See how close we're getting? Look how, you can tell I've been working. My TV is turned towards my desk. But anyways, so I kind of put it here and then I'll readjust it based on, always clean your camera, whether you're using front camera or back camera. I know people say use your, baby, come on. I know people say that that it's better to use your back camera. I hardly ever. I need to be able to see what I'm doing. So anyways, and then I just put it here It probably needs to come down a little bit. See? Oh no, that's perfect. And then I have, I don't know if you, okay, you can see. So I have the grid lines on my settings. So I always try to make sure that when I'm filming, I'm in the middle of the grid lines. And it's 6:13. I need to be back at my baby's school for 6:50. So with that being said, on top of Kennedy's stuff being in here, because I don't know why she comes down here to get dressed in the morning, but I also have a lot of a few packages that I got over the weekend for like some UGC content that I'm doing. Y'all, this don't have nothing to do with nothing. I've said this in a short before, but when it comes to content creating and thinking outside of TikTok, affiliate marketing and UGC, do your own research. I am not a coach or whatever, but them UGC brand deals. So I'll set my iPad is right here. My filming camera is right here. If I was doing it with the DJI, it'd be the DJI stuck right here. Well, right here. And my phone. But anyways, you get what I'm saying. So let me knock this out right quick while I'm doing some makeup. This is the other thing. I like to have consistency with certain things. So like, if you see me talking about GLP-1 content, typically I'm going to sit here and do makeup while I'm doing it. It's just kind of like, for me and what I'm trying to build my brand on, I like to have consistency in certain things, if that makes sense. Every now and then I'll sit here and talk about something else, but for the most part, you know, if I'm sitting at this doggone vanity, I'm talking about GLP-1. But anyways.
All right, so I'm just unbraiding my hair really quickly. I need to go run and get Dylan. It's 6:39. Just an update on this hair. Will I ever get boho again? Absolutely. Will I use hair from the hair supply? Probably not. This hair sheds a lot. Not like a lot. Maybe it probably would shed more if I didn't keep it braided up all the time. Since I work from home, my hair is braided most of the time. But it's literally, every time I unbraid my hair, I have to get the Swifter to get hair off of the floor. It becomes annoying for my family as well. They don't want to be stepping and have hair all over the place. But anyways, let me go and get my baby. But it's still really pretty, and I'm keeping it for a while. I'm having surgery at the end of October. So this will be my surgery hair. But baby, before I pull out, let me look at the GPS and check the Baton Rouge traffic, because I refuse to make the same mistake I made the last time. Had I checked the traffic before, I would have known not to hop my little self on the interstate. My mama knew though. Mama's like, yeah, it's all over the news. I don't watch the news. Hopefully the doctor's office is at the Children's Hospital, and it is literally right down the street from 7 Brew. What? It is. Why are you smacking? You want something from 7 Brew? Oh, don't care. I need to see what fall drinks they have. Let me look. And of course, I'm not coming to Baton Rouge on a 7 Brew. So I ordered the iced pumpkin cinnamon roll with cold foam and the cup lines in caramel and pumpkin drizzle. It's my first time having it, but it's a fall drink. And why would you come to a coffee place and not get a fall drink when it's fall? Oh, but here's my drink. Let me get a thumbnail picture. Okay, so I finally made it back home. It is 10:02. I am not scheduled. I actually took off like a half day today, so I'm actually not scheduled to be to work until 12. However, I'm about to sign in now, just because I don't have a reason. If I don't have a reason to be off, like, what am I going to do? Anyway, so, the doctor's appointment. So, the doctor's appointment went really well. Why am I all in the camera like that? But I love a good doctor that breaks down everything and explains everything. Y'all,
This was our first time seeing a specialist, and he went as far as to literally draw out a diagram and explain like how the thyroid gland works, where we were going. He sat down and he explained the plan of care, what we were going to do. Literally every question I had, he answered every question. He asked Dylan if he had questions. I love that. I love that. I love a doctor that is not just in and out. I said all of that to say this. Let me tell y'all how good God is. Seriously, how good God is. Y'all know I told y'all in the maybe not the last vlog, but I told y'all like maybe 2 vlogs ago how the reason I was so emotional is because I missed his appointment. This was an appointment he was supposed to have Thursday. So we had scheduled this appointment all the way back in July. He received a referral from the primary care doctor. So that's how long of a wait list the doctor had. Like from July, we are literally at the end of September. So when we missed his appointment on Thursday, the nurse, she was really nice. She was very apologetic, which it wasn't even her issue. She didn't have to apologize. But she kept apologizing. She said, Mama, can you get him in? Can you bring him here Tuesday, which is where we are today. Y'all, I go to schedule his follow-up appointment. The doctor wants to see him back in 4 months. I go to schedule the appointment. The lady goes, he wants to see him back in 4 months. But he's booked out all the way to March. This is an issue that my child needed to have addressed. This wasn't something that I felt comfortable pushing off any longer than we have already pushed off. And that was just, I feel like me getting to that scheduling desk to schedule his follow-up was such a gentle reminder of how God is always going to make the proper provisions when we need it. Think about it from this perspective. If I go, we are in September. He needed a 4-month follow-up. They can't even schedule a 4-month follow-up because the man's schedule is 6 months out. Explain to me how on Thursday he was able to get an appointment on Tuesday. So, I don't know who this is for, but even when it seems like things are going wrong, even when it seems like we've made a mistake, even when it feels like we've done something wrong, trust and know that God's grace will always suffice. God is always going to make a way. You just have to put forth the effort. Like I said in a previous vlog, God gives us free will, so we always have our own free will to do what we want. And if we choose not to follow God, if we choose not to seek God, that's our choice. We have that choice. But once you decide that that's what you want, God is always going to be right there. He's a parent. We do it to our kids. I'm gonna let you run. I told you to stay away from the stairs. I told you not to do that. I told you that's dangerous. You're gonna hurt yourself. And then when our baby falls, we say, see, I told you, but we pick them up. We help them. That's how God is. But let me get to work before I start crying all over again, and I'll talk to y'all later. So it is much later in the afternoon. I thought Kennedy was gonna roll with me, but she has some work for school, so she said that she is locked into school, baby. Then she came back. She said, do you feel bad I'm not going with you? I'm like, no. She said, well, I can go with you. I'll just have to pull an all-nighter. And, yeah, that's unnecessary. So, the good thing about Dylan playing for JV is that those games do not be long at all. So, even if the game starts at, let's just say 6, by like 7:15, no later than 7:30, the game will be over. Baby, as I pull up in the parking lot of the school, I must have underestimated the power of freshman and junior varsity football, baby. The parking lot is packed like a Friday night varsity game. But it is officially fall. We got fall football weather. Game is over. He gonna expeditiously go and get his stuff so we can get home.
Something like this.
What you gotta go do?
Put this, turn this stuff on.
I like black. So it is 9:10. The game is over. I am not gonna lie. I thought that game was gonna be over at like 7:30. Not gonna lie. But they won. I'm about to get Kennedy and Dylan something from McDonald's. I had nachos at the game, so that's gonna hold me till probably Friday. I'm just joking. But this is the end of this vlog. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for tuning in to Vlogtober. Come back tomorrow for another video. And most importantly, if you haven't already done so, make sure that you subscribe to my channel. That's it. That's all. Bye.